Mr. Kyle Levine. Kyle has been in Toastmasters for 2 years. He joined Toastmasters to give him an excuse not to work through his lunch. Today, Kyle will be giving the second speech. It's called the Entertaining Speech from the Entertaining Speaker Advanced Communicators Manual. The objective of this speech is to entertain the audience by relating a personal experience. The title of his 5 to 7 minute speech is Where Did You Get Your Protein? And I really look forward to this speech because I asked him that question myself. Please join me in welcoming Kyle.
All right, thank you, Helen. Yes, Helen did inspire me for this, the topic of this presentation. She asked me this question, where do you get your protein? Most of you know that I am a vegetarian. I started 3 years ago. After Thanksgiving, we just said, that's it, we're done. My whole family, we're going vegetarian. But, when I did that, first my family, they said, no, you're not going to do that. How are you going to get your protein? And then they said, okay, but that's your decision. What about your kid? You're not going to do that to him. He needs to grow. You're going to stunt his growth. And, I was, for a while I've been wondering about that. Is this the right decision? Like, should I be doing that? And, I haven't really figured that out yet. Until now, right? Okay, so I'm not worried about that anymore, and I'll tell you why. So a lot of this information I heard on a podcast, the Rich Roll podcast. He's a ultra marathoner. You check him out, and he had a guest on Ray Cronice, who's big in advocate of plant-based nutrition. Hopefully this will work this time. There we go. Okay, so there's all different kinds of diets out there. Vegetarian, that's me. Pescatarian, people eat fish. Plant-based, that's a term that people are using a lot right now because a lot of the things that people, groups like PETA does that really turn people off to that movement. They say, well, screw those PETA guys, but they're too extreme. But really, plant-based. It's that term is it's really all about personal health and longevity and global health, right? Saving the world, not harming the environment. And so when people ask me where do you get your protein, the answer is I don't worry about it. And the reason why I don't worry about it, this guy, he's a vegetarian. He's vegan. Look at those muscles right there. This guy doesn't really worry about where he gets his protein. Look at this stubby pig right here. Does he worry about where he gets his protein? He doesn't. How about this guy? He's tasty, but he doesn't worry about where he gets his protein, right? Look at these apes. Does he worry about it? No, he gets his protein from plants, okay? He's just like us. So protein doesn't originate from animals. It's not a finite resource. So we think, oh, where do you get your protein? You got it from animals. Well, if it didn't, you can't grow protein, right? You can't grow like meat, okay? The animals eat it, they get it from the earth grows the plants, and then the animals eat the plants, and then we eat the animals. We could also just cut out that middleman. We could also just eat the plants, right? This guy, you wouldn't want to get near him, this guy would tear you to shreds. He doesn't worry about his protein, right? So we're 99%. Our DNA is 99% identical to chimps and bonobos, and you've heard the argument too. It's like, oh, I got these fangs right here, these canines. Well, this guy, he's got some pretty sharp ones too. He's, mostly a vegetarian. Okay, so they have those canines. So mostly, I say mostly because, okay, no, they're not 100% vegetarian. So they eat grubs, they eat ants. Sometimes they've been known to eat smaller monkeys, young animals' eggs. They go, if you're out in the wild, you're going to eat whatever you can get your hands on, right? If you're hungry, you're going to, even us, right? If we're out in the wilderness, we find that stuff, we're going to eat it too. So there's no such thing as a vegetarian or vegan ape, but 95% of their diet to 99%, they're vegetarian. So challenging popular beliefs. So there was a TED Talk I heard, and it wasn't about being vegetarian, but it was about talking about sports nutrition and hydration, and how actually if you're running long distances, you can actually overhydrate yourself and die because you desalinate your blood, okay, and you overheat and die. So what he was saying is that 50% of what we teach is wrong. The problem is, as a scientist, scientists don't know which 50% is right and which is wrong. So he says, until it's disproven, accept what the evidence appears solid and logical and is free of divert or overt conflicts of interest. So the conflicts of interest is a really key thing here. Is there such a thing as protein, lack of protein or protein malnutrition? Yes, but it's tied in with basically malnutrition overall. Basically, you're not getting enough calories overall, so you're also not getting enough protein. It's not necessarily, a special situation might be like if you just start eating bags of sugar and that's all you eat. Okay, yes, there's a term for that. There's a protein malnutrition. That's kwashiorkor. Okay, but overall, you see this Wikipedia link here. It's protein/energy. It's really malnutrition. Okay, so you can get nutrition facts. Here's 100 calories of chicken breast and asparagus. Okay, the same 100 calories. You have to eat 450 grams versus 60 grams. Okay, but you're still getting 11 grams of protein and 18 grams of protein. So the key here is per 100 grams, you just have to eat a lot more asparagus, but you get some nourishment, some vitamins, and some carbs where this has 0. Same thing here for beef and spinach. 100 grams, you're eating a lot of spinach. There you're only eating a little bit of spinach for the same 100 calories. You get actually the exact same amount of protein, vitamins, and carbs. So what differentiates us? Our mastery of fire is really our superpower. That's really what makes us human over all the other animals out there. All the other animals, they're foraging. Sometimes they can spend 50% of their time chewing and eating, trying to break down that food. We cook it, and we're able to cut out that chewing time. So what are we doing? Okay, we can cut out the middleman. This guy's having a protein shake. That's not a great example because he looks pretty good. So, but the point is that protein is way overrated. Okay, a whole other topic is dairy. There's no other species that drinks milk past infancy. Okay. Talked about the mastery of fire. Just because we can doesn't mean it's necessary. So who benefits from pushing protein? That gets back to the conflict of interest. Healthcare is a huge portion of our GDP. They don't care if we're getting sick. Actually, they'd rather us be sick because that's what they sell. It's tough to brand a sweet potato. My sweet potato is better than yours. Not really going to work. And restaurants will go out of business. A side of corn, it's a lot less than a whole big entree. So where do I get my protein? Plants.